Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar this morning. Myself, Andy Carver and Angela Carver. We're just going to leave it a couple of minutes and so that those that are trying to get on do get on. So just bear with us for a minute or two. Thank you. Shall I close that window? You'll have to excuse me, lovely legs, it's still summertime.
Just waiting for a few more people to get on, and then we will get started.
Hello, Anfield Pop. How are you, darling? Hello, Christine Hooper. We're excited to see your journey as well, to plot your journey to Soaring Manager. And hello, Hazel Elias. I hope I've said that right, from Wales. Woohoo! Love it. Right. Hello, Zara, Ibrahim. You're welcome. Right, let's start.
Hi everyone. We're going to take, so as Andrew and I, Angela and Andy Carver, for those who don't know us, we're going to tell you about our journey to Soaring Manager and a few little top tips that we did along the journey to keep us focused, etc. But we're going to take questions and answers right at the very end, if that's okay. So if there's any questions throughout, just send them along. We'll open up the questions right at the end, and we'll try and answer everything that you're asking. Okay.
If we have any technical problems,
yes,
I've been told, if you lose the connection or what have you, all you have to do is come off the webinar and jump straight back on, and you'll be reconnected back up.
Okay, so hopefully we won't have any issues. So, like I said in the beginning, my name's Angela, this is Andrew, and together we built a business. And I'm going to explain a few things as we tell you our journey. But let me just start by, for those of you who don't know us, how our journey started all those years ago. Let's just get Andrew to put the wrong one.
Back.
Okay.
See what I mean? You're going to be brilliant at this. Hold on a minute. Oh dear. It should be it. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Technical already. So our journey started 18 years ago, and I don't know where that time's gone. It's absolutely flown. But my background, because I started it initially, and then Andrew's going to tell you about how he joined me. But my background was in the hair and beauty industry. Been a hairdresser for many, many years. I've done all aspects of it. My own salon, I've done mobile, I've worked abroad in South Africa, I've done all sorts. But I worked at that time, when I was looking at Forever, extremely long hours. Had 2 teenage children at the time, who had lots of demands on me, because as soon as I came through the door, they'd be asking to go to swimming club, football clubs, dancing lessons, like a lot of mums out there. But it was down to me, because Andrew worked extremely long hours and could be away for several days of the week at one time for work. So it was me juggling my work, which was 60 hours a week, and children, and it was just quite difficult. So I felt like I was on that roller coaster, and a lot of you would probably relate to that. I just felt like I couldn't get off it. Never having any time for me at all to do any things I wanted. So I wanted something to change. But only having trained in hair and beauty, and that's all I'd done since leaving school, what was I going to do? So I looked around for something else that was going to give me, I wanted the balance back in my life. I wanted to work still, but I wanted family time, and I wanted the time to just do things for me. So that's when I came across Forever. So I was very skeptical, like a lot of people are. My husband was even more skeptical. But I decided, I kept saying to myself, what if this really does work? And because I kept saying that to myself, I got started. And that was 18 years ago. So I'm going to give you some top tips now of the kind of things I did right in the very beginning that took me to manager. So product launches. I did had planned 2 in my diary, absolutely every single month in, month out. Now, at the most I ever had at my launches were 22, and the least was about 3, but I still did them because I always sold product at them. And I always prospected at them. So product launches for me are really important. And I know that this time, as times we're in at the moment, we're having to do them online, but we're still doing launches even to this day. The other thing that I committed to was 9 experience packs every single week. Now, some of you might think that's an awful lot, but what I did, I broke it down. So they go out on a Monday, I'd pick them up on a Wednesday, they go out on a Wednesday again, I pick them up on a Friday. And I did that absolutely every single week. I used to say to people, I had different packs that I did. I made all sorts up for people. But I'd say to them, when I come back, if you give me 5 names, I will give you a free deodorant.
5 names.
5 names referral. And that kept my list of people never ending. It just continued on and on and on. But what I did, I got home, rang those people immediately, said thank you for accepting that you're going to have an experience pack. I will be in touch in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's how I worked my experience packs. I spoke to people absolutely every day about the business, non-stop. It always makes me smile when I say this. I used to, because when I walked through the door, the kids were straight at me to do things. So I used to pull up round the corner with my car, sit in my car, make some phone calls if I hadn't spoken to enough people that day. So I needed to tick every box for me to make this business feel consistent and moving forward. The other thing that I did was I concentrated on gel drinkers. Now, for me, I thought if I can get people onto the gels, because way back then we didn't have the C9s and things like that, I thought if I can concentrate on these and get people on them, they will stay with me. And that's what's happened. That's why I sell so many gels. So what I used to say to people is, look, I want you to commit to 3. I don't want you to have to buy them all at once. However, I do want you to commit to 3. So they did. And I knew at the end of 3 that they would feel better. And if they didn't, I'd say to them, come off it. But I'd keep in contact with them over the next 12 days. The other thing that I did was be 4cc active. Every single month. Now, in my first month, I remember doing 3.750 because somebody didn't explain the 4cc's to me. So, but since then, we've done 4cc active and above, because we always do more, for 216 consecutive months. So, what did I need to get to manager? Now, manager, when we did it, was 120 case credits over 2 consecutive months. Now, I know there is another way of doing it now over 4, and I think that's even better, but we did it over 2. And I remember needing 87 case credits in my qualifying month. And some of you might think, 87? How could you do it with 87? But what I also had Andrew at the side of me saying that's absolutely not possible. So he was trying to feed into my head negative, and I didn't want it. So I said to him, look, I'm happy to take your negative, but not till we've gone past the end of the month. So I don't want any of it. I just want to put my head down and go for it. So I set to work, and I did it. 3 new supervisors and 1 new assistant manager.
Came through that month.
Came through that month. So we got to manager in 12 months. What happened when we hit manager is some of the team carried on with us, which is great, but some didn't. And for some people, that might make you feel like you're losing a bit of heart with the business, but it didn't for me. It didn't deter me at all. I held the hands of the people that wanted to stay, and I moved forward. So I carried on building more team. One of the mistakes I made early on was that I wanted it more for my team than they wanted it for themselves. I had to learn how to support, encourage the team to move forward. Then what we did, as you can see there, 2003 we hit manager. Sweden, we qualified for, went to Sweden, we went to Budapest. In fact, we've been to Budapest twice, Malaga, and so on. And these are just some of the early things that we did from achieving manager. And it was absolutely amazing to go on these rallies. It really gave you more belief in the company that you could go further.
Fantastic. So I joined Angela in 2013 in the business, but my background was I was a qualified chef, was a chef for 12 years. Then I got involved in the sales of chilled food to the hotel and restaurant trade. And it was something I loved in the beginning because it was no split shifts, Monday to Friday, nice company car, what's not to like about it. But anybody that's from a sales background will know that you're only as good as your last year's figures, and you're pushed harder and harder to bring more and more business in. And if I fast forward 22 years to 2012, I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, doing about 800 to 1,000 miles in my company car because my customers were all over the place. But I was working under incredible stress levels. I turned 50, I just lost my father, and I just thought, I've got another 15 years of this. But it's like, as Angela was in Hair of Beauty, it's all she knew. All I knew was food. And she'd been nagging, Angela had actually been nagging me for 2 or 3 years to join her in Forever. But it all switched for me in 2013, January, when we went to a training. It was just a weekend's training. Now remember, for 7 years, I've been to business presentations. I was asked to speak nearly every week, and never, well, until they got fed up of asking me, but I was always keep my eyes down and never speak. Went to success days, just took notes at trainings, but never did anything with them. But I just went to this training and just something clicked, a light bulb moment for me happened. And I drove home that day and said to Angela, I'm ready, I want to start doing Forever Living with you. And so I started to fit Forever in pockets of time around my day job. I worked it was April of 2013, so I'd worked 4 months at this stage in pockets of time doing Forever. And I handed me notice in, and I did 3 months notice. And on the last month in June, I actually sat down with my boss and told him what I was going to do. And that was my boss, Pete, was on my chicken list. But he says, you know what, this sounds interesting. So him and his wife came to see us, and they were my first assistant supervisors that joined the business. What was my why? And this is a big thing, because I don't know about you, but for me, I really struggled in the beginning to visualize. So if someone says, put a board up and put pictures up, well, fair enough. So that's what I did, but I didn't attach anything to it. So if I put that I wanted to go on this particular holiday, it didn't mean anything to me. But my why was a negative one. And it sounds strange, But my why was that I didn't ever want to go back to work. I had no plan B. So if I was having a day where something wasn't going right, I got nothing but no's, I would think to myself, Andy, keep going, otherwise you're going to have to find a job. And I didn't want that to happen. And I didn't want that to happen. So for me, it was a negative why. So attach, if you are one of those that struggle to visualize, attach a negative why to it. Is it that at the end of the month you want to take you, well, you can't at the minute, but a plan is to take them on holiday somewhere, but you can't afford it? Well, that's a negative why. Make that your why to do this business. Now, how did I fit forever around my 60 plus hours a week day job? And this was 60 hours that I was out and about. When I got home at night, I was sitting on my laptop working. So what I did, I worked my diary properly. So I'd have my Monday to Friday open in my diary, and I'd put in where I was working. I put in times for me if I wanted to go to the gym, time for with a family. That's what I did. But what I also did was think, right, where can I find small pockets of time throughout the week around my busy schedule? So say if I was going to London, we live in Nottingham, but say if I was driving to London, I would get to park up at East Finchley Tube and tube in. I would get to the tube station half an hour early and make my calls. But I'd fit that in my diary. And so over the time, I could then start to build the business in pockets of time around the day job. So what happened? So in August of 2013, we hit car plan level 1. So what we did in April, I'll go back a few months. In April, we sponsored a young lady called Zoe Fithian. And I'm smiling because Angela sponsored Zoe, but we both know her. I used to coach Zoe at swimming because I was a coach at swimming. And Zoe, from April to October, went to manager. So that helped us get to car plan level 1. But it also said to us, right, we know how to get people to manager in our business. We'll just follow the same path that we did with Zoe. We also got to 100 Club level 1 in September 2013. We was told, if you get to 100 Club, that's 100 cases of open business. That's not manager business, that's open business. That's anybody that's assistant supervisor, assistant manager. If you get 100 cases each month, in there will be somebody that's going to be a manager. So that told us the business was growing. What happened then was we started to get success, and our 2 grown-up children, Jordan, who's 30 now, and Jordan, was he Jordan then? Jordan's 32. I do know them. Jordan's 32 and Brittany is 30 now. But Brittany was the first one. She came up to us in March 2014, said, Dad, can I join your business? She was a dancer on the cruise liners, and she just had to come away because she was a type 1 diabetic, and being away for so long affected her sugar levels. So she joined our business. Now my son Jordan, if anybody knows him, is quite competitive, and he saw Brittany join, so he thought, well, I'm not having my sister be successful and not me. So he joined us 2 weeks later. So that was in March of 2014. They both went to manager within 2 hours of each other 5 months later, which was made us senior managers, because we had 3 frontline managers, but also the CCs were growing. So we hit 100 Club level 2 and Forever to Drive level 2. I have to go back to that. Let me just go back to that August 2013. When I left work, I had to give my company car back. So I had no car and I was driving around in Angela's little Mini. I didn't fancy that at all. So car plan was right up there for me. And as soon as we hit car plan level 1, I went out and bought a company car for myself. We then carried on with our business, and you will see now through this time scale a sort of route to how to get to the bigger things in Forever. So it was the car plan was the first goal. 100 Club was our second goal. Next was to build the business to bring more and more managers in. And then when we got our children to manager, we had 3 managers. We went to senior manager. We then had the target of Eagle manager. And that was when we went to Lake Tahoe for our first global trip. Because that was, apart from the European rallies, when we went to Lake Tahoe in Dallas. The next stage for us was, right, we want to go to a global rally. So we then qualified to go to Singapore. Now, what happens when you go to the rallies and become an Eagle manager, you are then surrounded by other successful FBOs in Forever, and it lifts the bar on your business because you network with these people, the superstars in Forever, and all the training is there. It just really lifted the lid for us. So the next level for us was Car Plan Level 3 and Soaring Manager. Now, how did we do that? So we've got 3 managers. So our 4th manager was a young lady called Vicky Wyatt. So Vicky joined our business in 2009. She got to supervisor, then stopped. Then Angela approached her again in 2014, and she reignited her business and went to manager. So if you've got a team out there, who do you know in your team that may have stopped, that you could reignite back into the business? They could be your diamonds. Remember me telling you that I spoke to my boss? Well, Pete and Sue were our 5th managers. They went to, they became, frontline managers to us, and that made us Soaring Managers in July 2015. We then went on to Eagle Manager again in Cancun, so then now to Mexico. Then in 2015, we also qualified for our first chairman's bonus check. And it was for just, I'm looking up because it's on the wall, just over $16,000. And that's when we went to South Africa. But Jordan Brittany and somebody in Jordan's team also qualified for chairman's bonus, so it's a +2. We went to Senior Eagle Manager in Greece, and then in 2017, we qualified to go for the chairman's bonus in Dubai. So this really is this was where we was at with Soaring Manager, Senior Eagle, 100 Club. There's a plan there, there's a process that we got to. So it was get to manager, get to build a team, get a manager in with our business, and so on and so forth. And what's that meant to us? It's meant that, so that's our 2 children, Brittany on your right, Jordan on the left, myself and Angie in the middle. I just want to look at the car in the background, the Range and the Audi, so I just want to say that we're nothing special. We just apply ourselves to the business, just constantly work it. So this was, the top photograph is Jordan on the right with his wife now, Melissa, and Brittany on the left with her partner, Jamie. That's us in Johannesburg, all collecting our checks. The bottom left one is, we have a team barbecue every summer. Probably won't happen this year, but we'll probably have a get together on Zoom. But that was just a team coming together. And on the right is when Jordan and Britt both qualified for VIP, the VIP group within Forever. And it's also allowed us as a family to enjoy trips. We've been on so many family holidays because we all work in Forever. We can just pick the time we want to go. That was on the top left is Johannesburg with Bob Parker with us. Bottom left, after the rally, we all went on a safari. It was through Forever as well, so we stayed at a couple of Forever resorts, which were amazing. And that's me with a hand on a lion, happy days. Still got all my fingers left. And then on the top right was when we all took a trip to Thailand.
Okay. So some of the top tips we just want to share with you is always be humble. It doesn't matter what you're earning from Forever and how that is climbing, to stay humble is the right way through this business. Take responsibility for your business. So when things go wrong, don't send the blame game. I hear it so many times when people point a finger at other people and blame why their business is not working or why their business is not moving forward. Take responsibility yourself. You will always get negative, you will always get no's, but you've got to ride that out and think of the positive on a daily basis. One of the things that I always used to think about was, if I'd have a negative, then I'd be thinking, right, I've got 20 minutes to let this ponder through my head, and that's it. And then it's got to go. And so you've got to release it and move on with your business. Come from contribution. It's all about what you contribute to your team. I have to say, when we hit one or two of those levels we've just spoken about, I didn't even know I was that busy helping the team and counting their case credits, that somebody had to ring me and say, you're going to hit Soaring, or you're going to hit car plan or car plan level 3, because we were that busy just working with the team, because it was all about them, that we didn't see things for ourselves.
Can I also say, coming from contribution, when I first left work, I spoke to about 625 people. I still remember to this day, in 6 weeks. I got 625 on my Who Do You Know list, and I contacted about 350 people in the first 6 weeks, all sending them DVDs, because they all said, yeah, send me some information. Not one of them came back to me, or not one of them, when I rang them up, said, yes, I'd speak to you all, could I get them on the phone? The point is, when I first started to contact people, it was all about why Andy Carver was doing Forever Living and what it was going to do for me. It was not about them. I should have. And the reason I changed that was because I spoke to my upline, because I was always constantly on the phone asking questions. I told him what I was saying, and he says, Andy, it's all about you. Nobody wants to know what it's doing for you. They want to know what it's going to do for them. The minute I changed that around is when the magic started to happen.
It's all about leading from the front as well. We never ask anybody in our team to do anything that we wouldn't do. So, it's leading by example. If they see that you're contacting people every day, that you're having product launches, that you're sending out experience packs, guess what? They will follow. If you're not doing anything but expecting them to, it doesn't work. So you've got to lead by example. And the biggest thing, if you're going for any position, you have to be consistent. You have to be on point with it every single day. You've got to plan your business, you've got to review it all the time, and then you've got to put things into action. And above all, the most thing we've had from Forever, and you don't get that in a day job, is we have fun. We have fun all the time. So you can make excuses, it says on there, you can make money, but you can't do both. And that's our motto with Forever. So I hope we've given you a little bit of insight to how our business has worked for us over the years. So if we can go to any questions that we've got. So this is my first webinar with Forever. Great to hear from you. Good
Cheers,
to have
Colin.
you on.
Thank you,
Colin.
young man. I think that's a man. Sylvia Pole. Oh goodness, I've been told so often that my why has to be positive, but for me, the stick works better than the carrot. Yeah, that was me,
yeah.
Sylvia. I couldn't look at a picture of a holiday or a car. That's just not how I worked. For me, I didn't ever want to go back to that stressful day job. And because that was in my mind, I thought, right, this has to work. There's no plan B.
I think it's really important that you plan every single day out. Don't get me wrong, we don't work this business 24/7 at all. But when we do work, we work on purpose and consistent.
But that's a really good top tip as well. If you're doing Forever, thinking about it 24/7, you're not doing it right. You have to make sure that you're prioritizing your family life, your work commitments, all that has to go down. But then you have to find the pockets of time to do your Forever business. And once you do, and we always say this as well, when we're doing Forever business, it's got to be income producing activity. It's not making your diary look pretty. It's not making your office look nice and neat. It's not moving paper around. It's doing things that, are you putting stuff on your Facebook page or on your social media, whatever you're doing? Are you organising a launch? Are you organising the experience packs when we're not in lockdown? Are you talking to people? That's income producing activity. And when we do that, we are so not rigid, we are so structured that once we've done our daily bits with Forever, we shut our diaries. That's us done. Forget about Forever. That's it, we're done. And that's the beauty of what this business can do for you. But if you are thinking about it 24/7 and it's not going anywhere, you have to be productive, but in small pockets of time. Hi, Norman, how are you, sir?
So hope you've all enjoyed that. I hope we've given you a little insight to us and how we've built our business over the years. And you know, we're normal people. When there's nothing special about us, we're just from normal backgrounds. The only thing that we've done is put it into action, and that's what you need to do. So if you want all the things that you've seen, then you just need to put it into action. Remember, you can only move your business forward if you take action.
Thank you, Sylvia.
So have a lovely day. Enjoy, everyone, your day and whatever you've got planned, and we'll speak to you all soon. Take care.
This webinar's being recorded and it should be released sort of
next week.
Early next week sometime. If you've got any questions, just put them through to Forever Living and they will answer the questions for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great day and lovely weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.